How's it going, gents? Here we are with a beautiful Kawasaki Ninja 636. This is my wife's new bike, and it is very pretty. All matte, black and white, no gold or anything like that. It's just black and white, a little bit of red on the shower suspension bits. Very pretty motorcycle. I'll jump on and make a video. My wife, she could ride it, but she's probably too shy to make a video on it, so I'm going to make a video on it. Maybe I'll get her out for a dual vlog with when I'm on the MT10 and she's on this, or I'll be on the Daytona. Actually, it's more fitting to be on a 636, but I'll make the first video because she's very shy and she can't talk to cameras. So let's jump on and give it a whirl. Oh, it's good to be back on a 636. If you don't know, if you haven't been watching Riding with Tom for a while, this is how it all... No, this is not how it all began. I started on a Ninja 250, but I guess I didn't start getting a couple subs until I got my Ninja 636. I was actually one of the first delivered Kawasaki Ninja 636s in Australia. I actually got it in 2012, even though it was a 2013 model. I had a green one. I had it from December 2012 till January 2014 when it was stolen, taken away from me. I never wanted to sell that bike. I freaking loved it, man. But it was taken away from me. Stolen at an IKEA, of all things. Parked on the footpath right in front of a like a main entrance and shit, because in Australia we're allowed to park on footpaths. Parked on the footpath, everyone can see it, people walking past. Two guys, I got it on security camera, two guys just walked up, chucked it in the back of a white van, and never to be seen again. 5 years ago that was. Yeah, so I started on a Ninja 636. I actually did 15,000 kilometers on that bike, so I know a thing or two about the old 636, and it's bringing back good memories being on it. The sound of it and the feeling of everything, they're all kind of the same. My wife's one, this one is very clean, very new. It's only got 3,000 kilometers on it. So the previous owner didn't ride too much, being that it's a 2013. It's like 5 years old, and only 3,000 Ks. That's nothing, man. I've done more than 3,000 Ks in a week, easily. A trip to Sydney and back on the S1000RR, which I did in like 3 days, was like 3,000 kilometers. Trying to cut out all the traffic lights, so that's why there's weird edits and stuff. Is that a 450? 250, that's a 450. Dude's commuting on a 450. Go him! So I thought I'll pay a bit of homage to old school Riding with Tom, and I'll do me just cruising around the city, which is where I used to make most of my 636 videos. Probably the bike I've made the most amount of videos on. Maybe the 690 actually, just because of all my adventure videos, but probably second up would be the 636. So I will say that this is completely my my wife's bike. I in no way told her to buy it. I did not help her buying it. It's her own, complete own money. And I didn't actually even want her to buy it, purely because I had bought a Daytona 675R in white, and then she goes and buys another very comparable 600 in white as well, and now I'm gonna go for it. And it's just like, bloody hell, now we got like two of the exact same bikes in the freaking garage. I will do a full comparison between the Daytona 675R and the 636, because as close as they are quite different, especially if you ride them back to back, which I've done quite a few times. I'll say they're both fantastic, and probably I would say very close to equal. I'd probably give the small win to the Daytona, probably purely because of the brakes and the suspension. If it was a standard Daytona 675, I would say the 636 a win, but the R version, I've got to give it to the Daytona. But I would be happy with both motorcycles, and they've both got their pluses and minuses. And I'll make a video on that, because I've still got both bikes. I probably am going to sell the Daytona, but right now I've still got it, so I can make some videos on both. Ugh, don't kill me. Ugh, so much trash. Hey look, we're in London. Double-decker bus. And on the grate. Dude's just having a great old time on the scoots. Loving it, man. Melbourne is just starting a new thing called, I think it's called Scoots, and it's going to be a taxi service on a scooter, which sounds kind of unbelievable and stuff. Maybe in Australia it might not work, but it definitely works in other countries. I was just in France last year, as you might know, on the Harley Davidson, what do you call that, adventure that I did, the little Harley adventure, and I saw lots of people on, everyone's on a scooter in certain cities and towns in France and stuff. So in Europe, I think taxi scooters are a big thing, and obviously in Southeast Asia, where scooters rule, obviously a massive thing as well. And I will say, I've actually been on a taxi scooter before, once, and it was me, the taxi scooter driver, and actually Jake the Garden Snake. We were in Thailand, and we had gotten this boat over to this island, I think it was called Koi Lan or something, this island, and obviously we didn't have our scooters or our dirt bikes, and we had to get to this beach, and there's no other choice but scooter taxi, and I was terrified, and I think Jake the Garden Snake was terrified too, as silly riders as we are, popping wheelies and doing silly shit, going normal speed as a passenger on a scooter with some random Thailand dude that you don't know is quite terrifying. So that's my only experience on a scooter taxi before. But yeah, I'd love to get my wife out. Maybe I'll do some kind of dual vlog where I'm talking to her over a headset. She might be better at talking while I'm doing that, because her experiences of having this motorcycle and you know, purchasing a motorcycle is completely different for girls than it is for boys. Boys just want what is the fastest. Give me the fastest shit there is. That'll do. But for girls, you know, seat height is almost everything. Seat height, weight, you know, the width of the seat and stuff. You know, if they can't put their feet down, they can't ride the motorcycle. So it makes a big difference. It ruled out a lot of bikes for her. I mean, yeah, you can always scoot over to the side, but as someone who's not super experienced like my wife and stuff, she doesn't want to have to deal with, you know, tippy-toeing or having to scooter off the side of the seat and only being able to put one leg down, which she was on some road bikes. She wanted a bike that she could at least put both feet down semi-comfortably. And she said the 636 is great. For that, there was a couple other bikes. She said the CBR was pretty good as well. But there's some bikes that she just hates, like the Daytona. She's ridden the Daytona, but the Daytona is a much taller bike than this 636. And she does not like riding that motorcycle because she's just not confident at putting her feet down. When she's going, she's fine on it, but she's just not confident in traffic or having to put her feet down. Another bike would be the R6. The R6, it isn't exactly a tall seat, but I believe it's the width of the seat that makes it kind of hard to put your feet down. So a lot of short people do struggle on the R6, which sucks because I think that's one of her favorite bikes. One of the bikes she'd wanted the most was the 636, was a R6, which would have been cool because it would have been like totally a Yamaha freaking clan. Pretty much all my bikes are freaking Yamahas now. She really wanted the R6, but it was just too difficult you would have to lower it and stuff and dick around with it, and you know, if you're going to do that, you might as well just look at something else. Like the 636 is a fantastic bike. It fits her well, and it's still super light, good power, and it also has things like you know, traction control, ABS, and power modes and stuff. It was nice to be able to just chuck it in low power mode, even though 600 is not super powerful, and I'm sure she can handle. She's ridden the Fireblade before, so she could definitely handle a 600. I would even say the KDM 390 had more freaking low-end power than even this 636. But I still chucked her in low mode. I'm out of fuel. Low mode, full traction control. Just, you know, might as well keep it safe while she's learning. And yeah, she's had no issues whatsoever riding this bike. She's loving it. Jesus Christ, this bike is so quiet. I honestly can't even remember riding mine with a stock exhaust. I think I was pretty quick to chuck the M4 GP on, and just rode it ever since. You know, obviously never went back to the standard exhaust, so it is an unbelievably quiet bike. All that noise you can hear, that is actually coming from the engine. That's coming from like underneath this petrol tank. That's where the sound's coming from. There is nothing coming from that exhaust. I think it was under 80 decibels or something. Such a quiet bike, but it rides so nicely. A lot of people forget that, you know, exhausts and everything, they're not just there for oh, nope, not gonna make that. I am going this way. Exhausts aren't just there to make your bike quieter. They are actually there to provide back pressure, and you know, the Japanese aren't stupid. They're going to tune their bike to work with that standard exhaust. So bikes do ride really nicely with stock exhaust. They might not get the full potential or full power, and they might, you know, heat up a little bit more because they can't get the exhaust out of them as quickly as possible. But they ride so nice with the standard exhaust. As much as I like loud bikes and I like to have the fullest amount of horsepower, the actual riding characteristics are sometimes the best when they got the standard exhaust, and this bike is riding beautifully with the standard exhaust. So I don't mind when she changes the exhaust, if not ever. I don't really care. I kind of like it. So used to quick shifters now though, having to freaking use the clutch to change gear. Not that I do anyway. Most of the time I freaking still clutchless shift. Sometimes I use the clutch. Let's not use the clutch. For downshifts as well. Up, up, up. Downshifts are a little bit tricky. You go up to 5th. Let's go up to 6th and we'll do tons of downshifts. So you gotta give it the old flip, flip, flip. Ooh, those two are smooth. The other ones are pretty crappy. It's all about practice on the downshifts. Whew, it's warm today. Summer is dwindling. Normally I make a video, I don't know if it's been every year, but normally I make videos around the Formula 1 track. I was going to make this video around the Formula 1 track, but they closed the damn road, because the actual Formula 1 track, I probably say this in every clip, the Formula 1 track in Melbourne is a public road. The actual start line is there every year, but they do modify it a bit when the GP is on. But it's a public road that the actual track is, but they closed it like Tuesday night. And I'm making this video on a Wednesday, so I missed it. But I'm going to the Formula 1, I'm going to the practice. I'm actually working at the Formula 1, like doing a volunteer thing for the guide dogs on Friday, and then I'll just be going there on Sunday. First year of the Halos, I think. The cars have got the Halos now. That should be interesting to see. Hopefully freaking Ferrari can get up there. Just anyone other than freaking Mercedes, because they annoy me because they win every time and it's super boring. MotoGP is so much better in terms of like variety, even though it's really just Marquez and Dobby these days, but still it's a good battle. So gents, that's just a quick look at my wife's new bike, a Kawasaki Ninja 636. We'll make some videos with her riding it. Obviously she does get out and ride it. She's very camera shy, so don't expect any Mrs. Riding with Tom motor vlogs. That's probably never going to happen, but hopefully I can get out and ride with her and show her how she rides a 600, which is very slow and very safe and very careful. She's not an idiot like me. She values her life, so she rides nice and safe. I don't want her to hump me anyway. She can probably, she's better at me than everything else, so I want to at least be better at motorcycles than her. Better at doing wheelies than her. That's all I've gotten in this life. She's smarter than me, better looking at me. All I've got is my wheelie ability. Anyway, peace out gents. More videos of the 636 MT10 Daytona and 50 other motorcycles that I own coming up. Yeah! Bike's out of fuel. Oh wait, it's not my bike. I'm still not going to put fuel on it. All the times that she uses all my fuel, I can get her back and use up all her fuel. And I think the MT10 uses about 9 times more fuel than this bike. I don't know how Yamaha do it, but they make some of the freaking most uneconomical motorcycles on the planet.